Okay, so Joan Laporta recently had an interview with TV3. It's going to be like a conversation that we will be having in the very near future. I'm going to make a separate video for that. But one of the things that he did talk about is that for sure Barcelona in this summer are going to strengthen their squad, because he does see that other clubs right now are also strengthening, right? So they're rivals like Real Madrid. Hence the reason why Joan Laporta is saying to the media, we will strengthen. But one of the ways that Barcelona want to strengthen is by signing really quality players. But the only way Barcelona can sign quality players is by letting go of certain players and current players that we have right now. And one of them might potentially be Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo moving to Manchester City does seem like something that could become very realistic. And I'm going to be explaining why. We're also going to be talking about the Argentinian goalkeeper Emi Martinez, somebody who does represent the Argentinian national team, and also Aston Villa. So all of this is going to be talked about for today's video. So let's talk about Dani Olmo first. There's a big reason why Manchester City are looking at Dani Olmo right now, and that's because Manchester City are trying to fight for the signing of Florian Wirtz, who is their top target. Man City do see Florian Wirtz as the long-term replacement to Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is going to be leaving Man City after spending so many seasons with the club, and that is a big deal for Man City and Pep Guardiola, because one of the reasons why Manchester City have been so successful over the past 6 to 8 years is because of Kevin De Bruyne and the way that he found those key assists, right, to those passes, those final third passes. He was truly a monster for the past 5 to 6 years, and now with him leaving, it's a big void that Man City have to fill, just like how Barcelona had to fulfill the void of Sergio Busquets leaving, or Real Madrid letting go of Toni Kroos, and they have to fulfill that void, right? It's a huge deal. So for Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne, it's the exact same story. And Wirtz is coming off of a stellar season with Bayer Leverkusen, scoring 16 goals and 13 assists in 43 matches. But the reason why Man City might not be able to sign Wirtz is because of his huge price tag, and Man City do not want to pay that much. His price tag is estimated to be around 150 million euros, or maybe even more, and that is maybe too steep for Man City. Maybe they're saying, look, we can afford it, we can spend 150 million euros or more on the player, but we much rather have like 2 or 3 players that come along with us spending 150 million euros, right? They want to be smart with their money, which is why City are now pivoting towards Dani Olmo, who's a much more realistic, financially feasible option. And City are preparing potentially a 60 to 70 million euro offer for Barcelona's midfielder. And here's the thing. It is not the first time we have seen Barcelona potentially letting go of a player after one season. We have seen this recently with Gundogan, who came from Manchester City and spending 1 year with us. So we are no strangers to this. However, there's a big difference between letting go of Gundogan after 1 year and letting go of Dani Olmo after 1 year, right? Because we have spent 60 to 65 million euros on Dani Olmo. Can we sell Dani Olmo at the exact same price for us to like potentially not to lose money? We brought in Gundogan, let him go for free because we brought him in for free, right? Maybe we can pull out another conversation.Maybe we can bring in Ibrahimovic, for example, another player that stayed at Barcelona for just one season, right? And we made some profit with letting go of Ibrahimovic after a season back in 2009 through 2010. But, you know, at the end of the day, with Dani Olmo, it's very different, because Dani Olmo has been injured multiple times, which makes it a little more of a challenge on trying to justify selling Olmo to Man City for 60 to 65 million euros for us to potentially not to lose money. We don't want losses in our accounts going into this summer, because we want to have a very competitive summer and bring the players that we do want. So could we sell Dani Olmo for 60 to 65 million euros? I hope so. I really do hope so. Because like I've said, we are no strangers to letting go of a player after just one season. I believe that Barcelona, with careful planning, they will be okay. I think that it has to do a lot with Man City really needing a number 10 and knowing that there is a lack of options. Maybe that could be our leverage. And, you know, I would just say it's unfortunate for Man City, because I understand why Bayern Munich would be at the lead right now to sign Florian Wirtz. And that's because, you know, Bayern Munich, it's based in Germany. Florian Wirtz is in Germany. He knows the majority of the players in Bayern Munich, and it's a smooth transition. It's like a cheat code. Going from Bayer Leverkusen to Bayern, it's like the smoothest transition you can ever ask for. Or Dortmund from Dortmund to Bayern. It's the exact same thing. It's a cheat code. It's not really much of a readjustment that you have to make. And so, of course, Bayern Munich have the upper leverage over Man City, right? So because Florian Wirtz has to learn English, he has to learn about the players around him, he has to learn about a whole other different system. It's insane. There's other teams like Liverpool and Real Madrid that do have interest in Florian Wirtz, but the team right now that really wants Florian Wirtz, it is Bayern Munich, and Florian Wirtz, I believe, really does also want Bayern Munich, which puts Man City at like in second place to Florian Wirtz, and like second place by a mile, dude. Like there's a huge margin in terms of favoritism. So I hope that if for us, right, if we want to sell Dani Olmo at a good price tag, I hope Man City come into a very desperate position, because if they do, they'll try to up their offer because of the lack of choices in the end. And I think that, you know, in some way, as a matter of fact, we can also justify Dani Olmo's price tag, because from a, I would just say, stats standpoint, Dani Olmo has done very decent. It's not like Dani Olmo was out for like 6 months and he came back and only scored 1 goal and provided 2 assists, right? That's not the case. Dani Olmo was, I would just say, out for maybe 2 or 3 months and nothing more, but he has had his best season yet in terms of goals and assists. If we look at his numbers, we can see that he has played 38 matches with Barcelona, right? He has scored 11 goals and provided 6 assists, 9 goals and 3 assists in La Liga, 2 assists in the Copa del Rey, 2 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League. It's really not that bad. He has had 17 goal contributions with Barcelona in his first season. He has not been able to go further than these numbers since, I would say, the 2020-2021 season, where he played 46 games with Leipzig, scored 7 goals and 11 assists, leading to 18 goal contributions. That still to this day is his best season stats-wise. And the only reason why he even got to 18 goal contributions is because he played 46 matches. At Barcelona this season, 38 matches, right? 8 games less, and has 17 goal contributions, right? So I think that he has been very efficient with Barcelona this season, meaning that Joan Laporta can easily say, you know what, just pay the 65 and nothing more, right? There's no reason for you guys to pay less. We don't want to lose any money. He has been very efficient. Yes, he has had some injuries, but you guys needed number 10, so just pay the 65 million euros, and it would be a win for FC Barcelona. And so, obviously, you know, we have heard some reports about Man City looking at Morgan Gibbs. There's this other player from AC Milan that they're looking at. But if Man City really want to reinforce the number 10 position in a good way, Dani Olmo can't be that guy. Now, why am I so, like I would just say, in favor of letting go of Dani Olmo? I would say because it's because of 2 reasons. Point number 1, we have reliable 10s right now. And I think that we can revolve our number 10 position with Fermin Lopez, Gavi, and I would just say Pedri as the 3rd backup. Pedri can move to the number 10 position with no problem, because the CDM positions is very much compact. We have Bernal, Casado, and Frenkie de Jong. That's a lot of players. Even Eric Garcia can play there. So if worst case scenario, we have an injury crisis and Fermin Lopez gets injured, maybe Gavi has to go to the left because Rafinha is injured, leaving the number 10 position very open, Pedri can go in there with no problem, and we can use Bernal and Frenkie at the back, or Casado and Frenkie at the back, or Frenkie and Casado, whatever, right? We have a lot of options. And I believe that, you know, if we let go of Dani Olmo for 65 million euros, it would open up space for us to maybe potentially sign other players that we want to sign, like a player at the caliber of Julian Alvarez, and reinforce the striker position. Now, Deco and Joan Laporta have recently made it very clear that Barcelona do not want to sign a striker right now. It's not one of their priorities. Maybe if they get there after they sign a left winger, a center back, and a right back, they might potentially get there and just say, okay, maybe we have some space here. Could we sign a striker here? And, you know, how much money do we have left? But it is not their priority. They want to sign a left winger first before anything else, and then go to the center back position and then the right back position. And so that is why I'm kind of in favor of potentially letting go of Dani Olmo. I think that we'll be okay because we have options in our squad right now. And I think that Fermin Lopez and his emergence and his rise is giving us some form of, I would just say, reassurance that we're going to be okay if his exit does happen. So let me know in the comment sections down below. Would you sell Dani Olmo for 60 to 65 million euros to Man City? And do you feel safe with letting him go? Are you okay with having Gavi, Fermin, and maybe Pedri as the options for the number 10 position? As we all know, Yamal can also play there. Rafinha can also play there. I believe that in the end, Barcelona will be okay. So now let's move on towards the next conversation, and let's talk about Emi Martinez. Now, I'm going to make this very quick because honestly, we don't even have any, I would just say, answers on whether Barcelona want to sign a backup goalkeeper, because we have to find out whether Szczęsny wants to continue at Barcelona or not. Because if he continues for one more season, then we're not going to have this goalkeeper situation. We're not going to be talking about Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez has recently just said that he's going to be moving away from Aston Villa. He wants to go. And he wants to go to a Champions League club. And I think that a team like FC Barcelona does align with that. Now, if, let's just say, for example, Barcelona say, okay, we just heard that Szczęsny does not want to continue with us, and we also know that Ter Stegen is not one of our best options. I believe that Emi Martinez can be a very viable option for Barcelona. Emi Martinez, like I've said, is going to be leaving Aston Villa, and he wants to go to a Champions League team. I believe that FC Barcelona is the perfect place, because I would say that Barcelona in the Champions League, let me paint out this picture. Barcelona in the Champions League really does rely on a goalkeeper that performs in those high stake moments. And I think that if you look at Emi Martinez's career, Emi Martinez is a goalkeeper that loves to perform in high stake moments. We have seen that especially in the past 3 to 4 years. Notice how he did perform for Argentina in the World Cup. He was so important during the penalty sessions, right? He saved so many penalties. He saved those 2 or 3 shots against France in that final. This guy knows how to perform in high stakes situations. This guy has had a lot of, I would just say, awards and recognitions. Golden Glove winner at 3 major international tournaments back in 2021, 2022, and 2024. Named FIFA's best goalkeeper twice back in 2022, 2024. Winner of the Yashin Trophy both in 2023 and 2024. He's big game proven. That is the reason why he has won these awards. Is because when he knows that his team might potentially be knocked out if they don't win this game, he performs. He blocks shots. He blocks penalties. And Barcelona do need a goalkeeper like that when we are in those big stake moments. Like in those matches against Inter Milan, we depend on big time goalkeepers, because Barcelona have shown that when they have to backtrack and and the opposition is going on the counter, we have to stop that attacker, and we want to prevent that 1v1 versus the goalkeeper. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we commit fouls that lead to penalties. And we want to be able to bet on a goalkeeper like Emi Martinez. So I can see this playing out. Emi Martinez is Champions League material and would really progress us in the Champions League. We want to make that extra step. We want to go to the final. We fell short in the semifinal, but we want to go to the final. And adding in the fact that Emi Martinez is somebody who is extremely tall with long limbs, long arms, he can really defend those aerial duels and those set pieces. Another weakness that Barcelona do have. So, Emi Martinez, his experience, his mentality, his reliability, these are qualities that could stabilize Barcelona in high stake matches. So let me know in the comment sections down below. Would you guys like to sign a goalkeeper like Emi Martinez? Keep in mind that, I would even add in the fact that, one of our requirements for being a good goalkeeper at Barcelona is to have those sprints, right? Those takeoffs, right? So like, what do I mean? For example, the amount of times we saw Szczęsny come out of his own box to go and try and get the ball before the striker gets it. It's something that you need to have. You need to have the speed. You need to have the burst in your run, right? Emi Martinez knows how to run extremely fast. He's faster than Ter Stegen. I've seen his top speed, and Emi Martinez beats Ter Stegen in top speed. And we need goalkeepers that can run out from the box as fast as possible in case our defensive line does not catch those long balls and that long ball meets one of the strikers. You need to be able to come out fast, and Emi Martinez is very aggressive in that. So once again, let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about Emi Martinez maybe being Barcelona's goalkeeper next season? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.